But yeah, I need to know the circumstances before I get into a relationship. It's good now? Okay, thank you. But I need to know the circumstances before getting into a relationship because people will walk you into the fire. Yes, much better. Okay, my bad, my bad, my bad. That playback gonna be choppy. But I'm just saying, like, I'm only bringing it up because I had a long conversation with a female friend and she's jumping into a relationship knowing she ain't healed from the last one. So she gonna put this innocent man, I don't know how innocent it is, but he innocent because he don't know what he dealing with. And I'm like, you gotta tell him that you may not be ready. You like him, but you may not be ready. If you don't tell him that you may not be ready, how is he gonna know how to act when certain things are bringing up red flags and stuff like that? If he don't know, then that shit ain't gonna last long. And he gonna look at you like them saying you just a bad girlfriend or you were just a bad individual or not a good person that them saying relate to or whatnot. She gotta be honest with him. She's not willing to be honest because she don't want him to potentially walk away and go get in a relationship with somebody else. She kind of like being selfish because she want to hold him to herself until she's ready. But you at least got to be honest about that. If you ain't honest about that, it ain't gonna work. More important, transparent. Yeah, you got to be transparent, like, because I believe in communication. Right or wrong, bad or good, ugly or pretty, tell me the truth about everything because then I can make the choice if I want to deal with something or not. I can't make the choice if I don't got all the information. And that, you know what I'm saying, that put me at a disadvantage. And then it made me look at you bad when I start seeing things that are not adding up to what you said initially. So it's just like, you got to be honest about the whole situation. And if you ain't honest about the situation, then it's going to fall apart. And it really don't get no more. Unless the person is a pushover, then you're going to be able to move and rock and have an attitude and talk to them how you want to. But if they was serious about you and they really like you and everything like that, they going to be like, hold on, you said you wanted me and this, that, and the third, but you ain't really acting like that. Or every time I try to move this forward, you always taking 17 steps back. And I'm not feeling that. So it's like, it's going to fall apart sooner or later. And then they're going to look at you different. Pushover. Yeah. I don't like pushovers. I could not be with a woman that was a pushover. Now you can cater to me. You can be the most loving, caring, considerate person, but I don't want you or need you to agree with everything that I say. I need you to have your own mind, your own mentality, your own thoughts, your own behavior patterns, your own will and wants, desires, needs, ambitions. I need you to have all that to yourself because then that'll help me motivate you and be on your team to build you up. I can't build you up if you following behind everything I'm saying. How I'm gonna build my woman up to be the best that she can be if she trying to be under my wing 24/7 and she don't got a mind of her own? That doesn't add up. It don't make sense. That math don't math at all. It's not really productive, especially if y'all supposed to be a unit and y'all supposed to be building together. That's what I want to see. I want my woman to be like, in most cases, every man, yeah, we provide and we do all this, but initially, men, we want to build our women up. You want your woman to be at her top potential as possible. You don't want to be looking down on her. I don't know how some motherfuckers think, but I'm not looking down on I would never want to look down on my woman. I would want my woman to be like, yeah. That's how I want to look. I want to be like, yeah, she the shit. Yeah. I had a part in that, but she was always the shit. That's why I want to look at my woman. Like, I don't want to be looking at her like, you below me and all that. Nah, that's not. How can you adore somebody or value somebody that you feel that you're, you know what I'm saying, not even on equal standard with? So yeah, such a turn off. Yeah, it be like that. But yeah, I gave her my piece. I don't know if she gonna follow my devices. I don't know if she gonna follow my advice. But as a man, I was like, you gotta tell that man, because he might be cool with, you know what I'm saying, you ever heard of build a bitch? Or build a nigga, or whatever the case is, you know what I'm saying? You trying to build her back into where she's supposed to be or put her back together. Somebody always want a project. They always want to heal somebody. But as long as that project, you know what I'm saying, has a long-term goal, I think it's cool. If you just got like this mentality to where you just want to rebuild somebody, but you don't want nothing serious, I don't think you should mess with people because they gonna get attached. Once you start building them and then, you know what I'm saying, you filling them with all these, you know what I'm saying, things of a potential of hope and love and a future, and that's not really your intentions, it's like it's gonna be bad, bro. You're gonna break that person's heart because they gonna be looking at you as a foundation, as a rock. And you ain't looking at them like that. You looking at them as a project. Once the project is completed, you ready to move on to the next project. So it's like you can't look at it like that. You gotta be, like I said, totally honest. I believe in complete honesty, good or bad. I'd rather you tell me an ugly lie than tell me the pretty truth. I need to know. I need to know what's going on and everything like that, because I don't want to be caught in the dark. I don't want somebody telling me something about my woman that I don't know. That's one of the worst things a man can get. You getting information about your lady that you'd invested in mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and you don't even know this. Like, as a dude, you're gonna be like, damn, what the fuck? Like, we talk every night, we physical, we talk about life, everything like that, but you ain't even let me know how you feel. You gonna feel like, you know what I'm saying, she ain't really here for this. And that's what I can't deal with. So, but yeah, I know that, what you mean. But yeah, like, that's, I don't know. I just came on the vent real quick to see how y'all felt about it or whatnot. But yeah. And I be glad I be having ladies in there, because sometimes, I ain't gonna lie, sometimes y'all be biased. Y'all don't be holding other women accountable. So I just wanted to see how that, I'm saying, was gonna go, whatever the case is. Because I know when I was talking to my other friend, she was like, yeah, well, maybe I said, yo, you making too many excuses for her. You know damn well she wrong. Because if it was the other way around, you would want that man to tell you the truth. So if you expect honesty, you got to give honesty. Otherwise, you a hypocrite and you a walking contradiction. And that's bad, bro. Like, that leans on your character. You don't want to be somebody that's like always contradicting themselves. So anytime you say you stand on something, you kind of got to walk that mile with that. You can't just be like, one day I stand on this, then the next minute it don't really matter to me, and then today it's cool again, and then now I'm offended. Like, you gotta be consistent on what you say you stand on. And if you ain't nobody gonna really, you know what I'm saying, value. They ain't gonna value your advice. They ain't gonna value your presence. They ain't gonna value you as a person, to the most part, because you don't stand for shit. So if you don't stand for shit, you kind of ain't shit, to an extent. Not to say that for everybody, it's just in general. But yeah, I couldn't go through that. If somebody didn't tell me the truth, I'd be like, I would lose respect for you. So I would want somebody to have that much honesty, because I can respect honesty. No matter how it comes, no matter how it make me feel, I can respect honesty over my emotions every time. Because you like, you know what, you had the heart to tell me the truth. When you know you could have risked losing me or a bad reaction or whatever the case may be, you still was like, you know what, I'm gonna be honest with this person. And you stood on that. So I can respect honesty all the time. I don't care. That's like when I was asking, like, Corey, like when I asked you about my videos at first, right? You was honest. You was like, that music, nah, this, you should do this. I can take that without getting offended, because it's honest feedback. Not too many people can take criticism. So, but yeah, I value honesty over everything. Anytime y'all see something that look like it's crazy, be like, hey, I don't know about this one. And tell me why, so I can make improvements and get better. That's the only way to get better. I don't mind criticism. Criticism helps you, know what I'm saying, look deep inside yourself and get better. Just like in a relationship. I would ask my girl, am I doing something wrong? Is there something that you don't like? Is there an issue that you have with me that you haven't addressed because you think it's gonna turn into something? Let me know. Pull me to the side and be like, babe, I don't like this, and I don't like this because of this, and I would like for you to do this. Don't just say I don't like something. If you leave it at I don't like something, now you leave it for the other person to be like, okay, well, I'm gonna fix it however I want to fix it, not how you need me to fix it. So you got to be able to be like, you know what? I don't like this. This is the reason why I don't like it. This is what I expect from you, and this is how I want you to change it. Now, once I got that information, if I care enough, then I'm supposed to be like, you know what? I like, or I care, or I love this girl, so I'm going to put in the effort to make sure that she feels comfortable on this particular situation. And then we're going to move forward. If I don't care, all the information that you just gave me, I'm gonna look at you like, all right, and I ain't gonna make no changes. If you vent your feelings to somebody, or your displeasure, or whatever the case may be, and they do nothing about it, but you vented it and you let them know, this is what I don't like, this is why I don't like it, this is how you can change it and make it the situation better, and they do nothing, leave that. Whether it's a friend, family members, you got to cut ties with that, because they don't value, they don't respect you. and they don't care about how you feel. And I'm just gonna be honest. I know everybody got their own situations, but in general, once you give them the information to change up something for the better and they choose not to, they don't value you. And I'm quick to cut anybody off for that. I'll let you know respectfully. I won't be mad. You won't get me yelling and all that. I'll just be like, hey, you had the choice to change it. You didn't change it. So now we're at this plateau where I just can't fuck with you no more. And I'll leave it at that. Yeah, don't just say what you don't like without a resolution. Yeah, you gotta have a resolution. Because if you don't have any way to fix it, you can't expect that somebody's gonna read your mind. We're not mind readers. Yes, people should know each other in and out and all that over time and everything like that. But in general, everybody ain't like that. You gotta literally boom, 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 put bulletin boards like boom, boom, boom. You gotta let them know exactly, especially men. Do not pretend that every man is gonna know exactly how you feel. We don't. I'm gonna tell you this right now. No matter how much we care, no matter how much we show you we care, no matter how much we love you, all this type of stuff, we do not know everything that is going on in your brain. So when you have something clicking in your brain, when you have something that's moving you the wrong way, let them know. Let these men know, because we don't have a clue. We'll be guessing and assuming, and then y'all don't like it when we guess and assume, especially when we guess and assume wrong. So let us know. Don't hold it in. Don't get frustrated. Don't kind of wait it out and see if he gonna change it. Let us know. I'm telling you, I don't give a fuck if y'all been married. I don't give a damn if y'all been dating since high school. I don't care about none of that. Always let a man know how you feel. Always let him know what the problem is, and always let him know how he can change it. Because then you get the experience to see if he's going to take that information and make it better for you. All the time. I learned this the easy way and the hard way. Of, oh yeah, she said this one, but she's kind of cool with it. And then I would let a lot of shit slide. And then I'm out of girlfriend because I didn't take that time to put in that effort. I've done it. I ain't gonna lie and act like, oh yeah, I'm perfect. Nah, I ain't nowhere near perfect. I'm amazingly good with it now and considerate and all that type of stuff. But it took time to get to that. It didn't happen overnight. Like, you know, everybody got their arrogant points and everybody got their egos and their attitudes and what they willing and what they not going. I don't want to do this. Everybody got that. But you got to have communication and you got to be able to put that effort forward. If you ain't going to put the effort forward, what's the point of having communication? Yeah, you should still have it. But what's the point in y'all going back and forth with communication if you ain't going to put no effort behind that communication to resolve the situation? So, I don't know. Yes, a lot of men and women think totally different. So true. What's up, Brett? What's up? But yeah, that's pretty much how I feel on that. It's like I'll die on that hill. Honesty before everything. I don't care how the honesty make you feel. Be honest. And then communication goes second. Because if you ain't got honesty, how you gonna communicate? And then the respect goes behind that, right? You got to have honesty to tell them. You got to have that communication to, get over that real, honesty about what you need to get done. And then you got to have the respect in order to imply that and put that into an effort in getting it done. So it'd be like honesty, communication, respect, and effort. If you could do those like right there in sync, you winning. But a lot of people don't want to do it like that. So a lot of relationships don't work, or they just be rocky, or it'd be a lot of arguments and all that type of stuff. And I ain't gonna argue with you. I ain't gonna argue with you at all. I'm not with the back and forth, y'all bickering, and I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna be like, how you feel? Let me know what's up. And then I'm gonna shut the fuck up, and I'm gonna literally sit there and listen, and I'm gonna let you get it all off. Because I know it's gonna be some emotions that's gonna come with you getting it off. I'm not gonna get offended because I know that you venting. So if I know that you venting and you upset and you hurt, I know what comes with that. That's just, what is that, emotional intelligence? If I already know that, yes, you're already, worked up. So it's going to be some things that you're going to say that's going to offend me. I'm just going to shut the fuck up. I'm going to listen. But then when it's my turn to talk, you got to let me talk. I'm going to address everything you said. But you got to let me respond. So once I respond and you start cutting me off, then I'm going to shut the fuck up and be like, you done? Yeah, you might get an attitude because it sounds sarcastic. It even sounds a little passive aggressive or whatnot. But I'm not going to argue with you. So I'm just gonna be wait for you to get done. All right. I'll let you talk for 5 whole minutes. I ain't said a word. I'll let you vent. I'll let you get all your shit off. Now I'm responding and you keep cutting me off every time you hear something you don't like. I ain't cut you off though. So what's the problem? You either want to, talk this out or you don't. Those are the only ones we gonna get through. We need a mediator. We can go get your girlfriend and she can stand right there and start pointing out, but you might get mad at her because she might not take your side on every little thing that you expect her to take your side on. So it's like, I've done that before. The facts, listen, let you talk. Yeah, a lot of people don't want to, a lot of people will cut you off the moment they don't like what you hear. Hold on, calm down. I'll let you talk. I'll let you get all your shit off. So let me get my shit off. Then if you feel a certain way about what I said, then you can respond to that. But if we can't respect each other enough to at least let each other speak, this conversation is dead. And it's a waste of both of our times. So it's like, I'm not finna waste your time and I don't want you to waste mine. If I care enough to actually have a conversation about this, then respectfully, I need you to shut the fuck up. And I'm gonna shut the fuck up when you start talking. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know, man. You know, I'd be like, I'm done, then I start back up. Yeah, see, look, see? That's that shit, Precious. You done, and then you start back up. And you probably start back up when he start talking, right? The moment you don't like something, or it don't co-align with what you said, you want to answer that immediately. Nah, let that man talk. You gotta let him talk. Because how he gonna fix the situation if you don't let him talk? Or how you gonna understand him if you don't let him talk? If you doing all the talking, y'all not getting shit done. The only thing you doing is venting to an open ear. And all he gonna do is hear that shit in one ear and it's gonna go out the other because he can't respond. Once you feel that you cannot respond or somebody's talking over you, or whatever the case is, they stop listening. People will tune you the fuck out fast. They will not listen no longer once you get into the point of, okay, I'm gonna talk, you gonna sit here and listen and you can't say nothing that I don't like. They gonna be like, you know what, fuck this conversation. But I'm gonna sit here and I'm just gonna listen and I'm just gonna, let this shit go in one ear out the other and I'm not gonna internalize none of this. And then y'all gonna be in the same predicament that y'all was before the conversation even had. When you was sitting there mad, you didn't want to tell them nothing. So you gotta let, like, men are stupid. We are dumb. Now, I'm not gonna say, like, book-wise, whatever. Sometimes just like certain emotional, social awareness when it comes to women and dating and stuff like that, we just be dumb. So sometimes you gotta, white kid glove it and break it down for us. Sometimes it's just what you gotta do. If you love that man, if you care about that man and you want it to work, you want it to grow, break it down. Dumb that shit down for him. Give him the information he need, and then let him internalize it so he can say it back. You got to hear what he got to say back, though. Because you need to know that he understands you. So you kind of got to listen to what he's saying as he's repeating or responding to whatever you're saying. You sharing your perspective. Yeah, I'm always going to share my perspective. Like, some men lack emotional intelligence. Yeah, we do sometimes. But in the defense of men, like I already said, what's up, Elevated? I'll say this. A lot of times where we can't communicate with women is because y'all will cut us off. Y'all will get so hyped up and so upset that y'all not willing to hear us out at all. So if you want to fix it and you talking to us, but then when you get everything that you need to say off and it's time to respond, and then we're responding from our perspective. We're men, we're not y'all. So we can only respond based on how we feel, our experiences of what we doing and what we going with as it pertains to the relationship. Just because you don't like something that we're saying, don't mean immediately start yelling and getting mad and getting irate and all this other stuff. It don't help the situation. You can't cut us off. Well, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do, but I'm saying respectfully, if you care, let the man talk. Let him get his off. Let him understand what you're saying and let him give you his perspective so you can understand him. But if you cutting each other off, the shit ain't gonna go nowhere. It never goes nowhere. It's just a long-standing argument that goes over and over again. I agree. That's why I said people will listen just to respond. Yeah, just to respond. And I ain't gonna act like only women do it. Women don't only do it. Y'all do it the majority, but y'all don't. It ain't. We do it too. We do it too. Sometimes we just be waiting for somebody to shut up just so we can say something back. Everybody want to clap back. When you feel like somebody, you know what I'm saying, got over you on the conversation, you waiting to be like, oh yeah, I already know what I'm finna say back to this. Like, that's not how you should approach the conversation. Don't approach it like that. That's why you can't look at it like an argument. Look at it like communication to understand each other and resolve the problem. Most people don't want to do that. But like I said, if you care about somebody, you're going to put the effort in to make that work on both sides. You can't just be like, well, I'm just going to do it and you're not going to do it. But it's okay that I don't have to listen to you, but you got to listen to me. That's not going to work. That's not going to work at all. So if that's what people think is going to happen, nah, that's exactly what's not going to happen. But yeah. So if it's like that, I wouldn't condone having a situation 90% of the relationship. Because outside of communication, what are y'all doing? Fucking? That's it. Everything else is physical. The communication is the mental, emotional side. If you can't get none of that, then all y'all doing is fucking. So all y'all doing is doing a transaction and going on about y'all business with emotions tied to it. So yeah. But yeah, I don't know why I didn't turn that on in the first place. Anyway, but that's just how I felt on that situation. I kind of went like, I didn't go nuclear. I just went off on my perspective and whatnot. But like I said, communication, well, honesty, communication, respect, and effort. Those are my 4 keys to a relationship, whatever. So, but yeah, it has to be more than one. More than screwing crazy. Yeah, sex only gets you so far. Like, you could be attracted to somebody, and of course, you know what I'm saying, attraction is initially what draws you in or whatnot, right? But once you get past the physical and all that, it has to be something more. Otherwise, it's going to die off sooner or later anyway, because you're going to find somebody that's mentally more stimulating than the person that you fucking on. It's just bound to happen. Like, you got to get your mental stimulated as well as your body. Otherwise, you're not going to last too long with them anyway. It's like, you can go get technically you can go get stimulated. You can stimulate yourself. So that's not really a if and or but about anything. Like, but you need somebody that's going to stimulate your mind as well as stimulate your body. Because then it's like, it's a happy balance right there. You know what I'm saying? It's a compromise between both of y'all and whatnot. So, because after the sex be done, you be like, okay, now we laying here. Now what? I got my nut. You got yours. What we doing? I can't even talk to you about nut. We can't talk about dreams or goals or ambitions or desires or plans for the future because you don't stimulate me. We don't have nothing in common to even relate on. And you're not even trying to relate outside of the physical. So, and stop putting up with people that you ain't aligned with. If you ain't aligned with them, don't put up with them. Don't make excuses about this. Oh, well, you know, maybe I can fix it. No. If you told that person and they still ain't made no effort, cut them off. What you holding on to them for? What are you honestly holding on to somebody that you've explained in detail how you feel, why you feel this way, and what needs to be done, and they didn't do it? Why are you still holding on to them? When you say it out loud, it sounds crazy as fuck, right? Why are you holding on to somebody like that? They don't care. If they cared, they would fix it, right? You can fix anything. So why ain't they fixing it? That's a real Corey, because dropping gems needs to hear that gets nowhere. Yeah, right. Always appreciate you, Rodney. Keep dropping gems, man. I'll be having my moments. I just wanted to vent to y'all for a minute, but yeah, I appreciate y'all. I gotta get back to the house and finish cooking these burgers and fries and everything like that, cause I get my cook on, you know. So, but yeah, I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for supporting me. You know what I'm saying? Every time y'all always come by, whether you stay for a minute or you stay for the whole live, I appreciate all the time that y'all show up. You know what I'm saying? So appreciate y'all. Have a good one. Y'all enjoy your night.